the Al-Ikhwan al-Muslimin, they call them the brotherhood, Muslim brotherhood, movement in Egypt. What would happen if they won? Are we going to have sanctions against them? I mean,
it's possible, but Mubarak would stand a chance in a fair nationwide election.
Yeah, but
we have another Islamic republic, which
right.
isn't all that bad. That they're different than us, but we can't make everybody like us. But back to Lebanon for a second.
Mm-hmm.
After continuous bombing and tank fire and everything for 30 days, what's been created throughout Lebanon, north and south, is a Holocaust. It's the first Holocaust of the third millennium. Israel has created it. In my Bible, it mentions something called a desolation or whatever, abomination of desolation.
Mm-hmm.
I think this might well fit there. And I think rather than mess with the United Nations, the leaders of Israel should be taken before the world court for what they've done. And I just do remember that those so-called terrorists who lived pretty well peacefully for 15 years did not fire any rockets into Israel until after the air raid attack and stuff. And also they dropped the bomb directly on the United Nations observation post and killed 4. And they put tank fire on about 10 or 11 on the observation posts along the border. And the reason they said they didn't do it or did it accidentally, they didn't want people, those observers, counting the bombs that were falling, just observing. They wanted them to leave. So they killed 4 of them with a bomb or 2, and they did leave. So these people have a lot to answer for, and we need to hold them responsible and accountable.
Terry, I got a question for you. You've raised good points. I got a question for you. What would you say to a lot of Christians who truly believe in the message of Jesus, the message of peace, the message of somebody hit you on your right cheek, give them your left cheek, and so forth? What would you say to a lot of Baptists? I'm serious. I'm going to be very honest here with you. A lot of Baptists who preach throughout this town, by the way, condoning what Israel is doing and condemning the Arabs, the Palestinians, the Lebanese, Hezbollah, and all that. Why we have involved politics in churches?
It's always been that way, Nabil. Even in early Christianity, Emperor Constantine was converted to Catholicism, okay? And secular authority often uses churches to work together. Same way with the religious with the worldly. They'll get both hands with it. Mm-hmm. And clear through back to the pharaohs and the prophets and stuff, they always work together. They even struggle with each other for supremacy. Mm-hmm. The religious think they ought to be on top of the secular, and the secular think they ought to be on top of the other. But when it comes down to fishing or cutting bait, if they got something to do, they usually work together.
Okay.
On any part of the conflict, you'll have a secular authority and a religious authority. You have the same way in World War II, and they will work together usually to express themselves.
Okay. Hey, Terry, thanks for watching this show, and call us next week again.
Hey, thanks, Nabil.
Hey, good night. Bye-bye. Back again to Matt. You as an American, you are a young guy, okay? And when you view the news, I'm sorry, when you see and watch the news, and you hear on daily basis, I'm a Muslim American, on daily basis about how fanatic we are, how terrorists we are, how extremists we are. Seriously, as an American, how do you take that? How do you see that? Do you get scared when you see Muslims in the street or women who are veiled?
No, I see it mainly as propaganda. Myself, Doctor, I'm a Christian American, and Terry, if you'll read your Bible, you'll see that this is the end times playing out. If you're following your Bible, the holy wars are basically the end times wars. But I think it's an insult to any religion when we have fear over one another, when we ostracize one another, because truly we're all here, and we all should be able to coexist and respect one another with a degree of tolerance, and things like this Israeli and Lebanon war wouldn't happen. One thing I would say to Terry's comment, I would just sum that up as the fact that Lebanon Hezbollah, had been kidnapping Israelis troops, and I know how much is enough, and I think that's kind of where they went with it. But they kind of shrouded it in this whole terrorism, and that's a whole other subject. The word terrorism.
In fact, I'm going to come back to that point. Let me take Doug's phone.
Okay.
Good evening, Doug.
Yeah, good evening. I couldn't disagree with you more about Israel and Hezbollah. Hezbollah has took 6 years to plan the war that they carried out. They took and captured Israeli troops.
Okay.
The Israeli troops was not bugging them a bit. Afterwards, they launched Katyusha rockets into Israel, which this is what started that whole conflict over there. And if Hezbollah is a state inside of a state, Lebanon was not governing or even maintaining the southern part of Lebanon. You had Hezbollah doing it. And when you have a state inside of a state, you've got to rein them in. And I don't care if they're in the cabinet, if they're in Beirut, then somebody should have done something about it. And this raghead guy that's launching the Katyusha rockets, I hope Israel hunts him down, which they got good people to find him, and I hope they put him where he belongs, right along with Osama bin Laden and the rest of them. And everybody that says, that there is good Muslims, but there's these radical fanatics that are just way off, and they'll put bombs on their children to blow up innocent people. They'll go to the extremes to kill anybody they can, kill themselves, and think they're going to go and get 72 virgins and 72 beds and 72 mansions. You got to be kidding me. They're going to go straight to hell.
Hey, Doug.
Yes, sir.
Let me please share with you a few comments here. One, there is nowhere in the entire Quran that there is anything says about 70 virgins. This is not even exist anywhere. I'm sharing, this is true information. I am Muslim. This actually, by the way, came up in the American media right after 9/11. So I've never read that. I memorized 1/3 of the Holy Quran. Okay, so that issue is not there. Now, let me just share with you. Do you know that portion of South Lebanon is occupied by Israel?
Well, it hasn't been occupied by Israel for the past 6 years. And when Israel pulled out, Lebanon's army was supposed to come down and take over, which they don't have the backbone to do. Now we're going to have to send in a UN, quote, UN peace force, which is not going to be nothing but more trouble. There ain't no ceasefire. You wait in 2 or 3 days, they're going to be lobbing Katyushas and all kind of stuff that comes through Syria from Iran. I'll tell you how we could settle it all. We can make 3 mushroom clouds. One on Iran, one on Syria, and one on Lebanon. And maybe we'll take care of it. And the rest of them will say, I don't want to mess with them, because you know what? That's what we'll get if we mess with them. Because you know what? If they would have, just like the plot on these airlines, if they would have carried out what they would have done, they was going to put that in, them chemicals they claimed, they was going to put them in, bottles and go on and blow up airplanes. Innocent people on vacation with their children. They're not bugging nobody. They don't care about, if Muhammad took a magic carpet ride or not. It's the innocent people that's hurting from all this craziness. And you know what? I say religion does nothing but cause chaos chaos and confusion and crap, you know? And if people would